right, chat. Very good evening to you all. Hope we're all doing well. Welcome to the stream. I hope we're all having a fantastic weekend. Welcome indeed. Welcome, welcome. Okay then, so today, welcome. We are going to be flying today in the PMDG 737-600, the little pocket rocket. Absolutely love it. I've done a few test flights in it over the last day or so, and yeah, I forgot how cute and awesome this aircraft is. I mean, obviously it operates very much similar to the other Boeing aircraft that we currently have in the sim, at least the 737NG series, the PMDG, should I say. But yeah, it's just super cute, isn't it? Super nice looking aircraft, and yeah, really love it. So we're going to be flying from Vienna today. Gaia Simulations Vienna. Gaia Simulations also providing the scenery for our destination airport today. Flying over to Florence, I always mispronounce it. Preritola Airport. So a little bit of an unusual one. It is quite a small airport in Florence, and it's not really the first thing that comes to mind, really. At least when you're looking at commercial flights. And yeah, like I say, we're going to be flying from Vienna with Austrian. Austrian did fly the 737-600, so it's sort of a it's a bit of a guess, really. I mean, Austrian have long retired their 737-600s, so it's sort of a semi-fictional flight, but they do actually fly a route between Vienna and Florence using their Embraer 195. So considering the 600, the 737-600 it is basically a similar size to the 195. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did used to fly the 600 into Florence at any point in the past. Florence is one of my favourite airport sceneries that I've got in the sim, and I don't get to fly into it enough because, to be honest, I don't fly enough private jet flights, which would be, is perfect for that airport. And obviously we don't have any Embraers, so there's very few sort of realistic routes that you can fly in there, but it is one of the finest small airport sceneries, small commercial airport sceneries in the sim, in my opinion. It's just got that Gaia finish to it that is just really, really nice. And it was actually one of the earliest sceneries that released for this sim. And like I say, I don't think it gets enough love on the channel. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Like I say, I do think it is a fairly reasonable thing to assume that they once did fly their 600s in there. I would imagine so. So, yeah, it's going to be good fun. Florence, quite a short runway as well. So, yeah, we'll have to make sure we are right on profile for the landing. The touchdown zone is very, very small as well. It's a much smaller touchdown zone than your average commercial airport. So, should be a lot of fun. We are flying on VATSIM today, and it's obviously crossed the land today in Europe. Well, Europe and the sort of Middle East area. I can't remember all of the departure airports for across the land, but cross the land is on, so obviously there is a lot of traffic on at the moment over Europe on VATSIM, so that's pretty cool. And I've just checked the coverage. Actually, we do have ATC on here at Vienna and the Austrian airspace, but one of the only places, just my luck really, in Europe that doesn't have any ATC coverage is northern Italy, which is where we're flying over. So hey ho, we'll see what happens as we go along, but lots of traffic on VATSIM today, and it should be great fun. What else? Anything else that I needed to run through here? Yeah, so we've got some control things that I've been mucking around with. I might have finally figured out the issue as to why we've had that weird parking brake issue so many times. I might have figured out the actual cause for it in a bit of a realization that I had the other day. So, yeah, we'll talk about that anyway once we're up in the air. But nevertheless, who have we got in the chat today? We've got Roy in the chat. Welcome back, Roy. Good to see you as ever. Welcome indeed. Super Gamer is here. Just landed in Los Angeles with a 330. Very nice, very nice. Where did you fly from? Oh, I just see a message further down. MPS Gaming, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Welcome indeed. Roy did Cologne to Istanbul in the A310. Very nice indeed, Roy. Very nice. I almost did an A310 flight today, actually, and I was going to fly out of one of the cross-the-land airports, but I didn't want to I didn't want to be that guy, you know, who was flying one of the cross-the-land routes, but not actually had a slot. Because I don't have a slot, yeah, they all just got booked up way too quickly. I didn't realize that the booking was going on until you guys told me, and by then it was pretty much already too late to get any of the good slots. So never mind. Matrasso, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you as ever. Welcome indeed. Welcome, welcome. All right, some good recommendations there by Roy regarding airliners for beginners. Yeah, definitely would recommend the A32NX. Yeah, I would basically echo Roy's recommendations there 100%. Yeah, really good. And yeah, we're going to be flying the 737-600 today, obviously. It is the cheapest PMDG, as Roy said, and you'll see today how good it is. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable, really. $35 for this level of aircraft. It's just fantastic, really. And to think it's going to have a fully featured EFB fairly soon as well, which is just brilliant. PMDG 738, I think Matt Rasso is... Oh, Roy's answered, yeah, $70. So, yeah, quite a bit more expensive. Well, it's double the cost, isn't it, really? Biggles, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Steve, welcome indeed. The 900 is on sale. I don't think it's actually on sale, to be honest. I think when PMDG launch product... Well, I think all of the products on the PMDG store, they all say they're on sale, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they all say they're on sale. It's, well, sorry, the 800 and the DC6 and the 700 is apparently on sale, but that's the price they've always been. So I wouldn't fall for that trick if I were you. I'm not sure why they do that, really. Right. Let's see. Could you fly a 146 there? Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, I would imagine so. How would you know if you're ready for it? That's a very good question, Super Gamer. I think you would just know if you're ready for it, to be quite honest with you. I mean, all of these sort of more high detail aircraft, they are going to require a little bit of studying. You know, you can't just really sit in it and just go, so to speak. Although you can use the panel states to skip a few steps. Yeah. I think for me, when I first started getting into more high fidelity aircraft, I just kind of felt like I was hitting a limitation as to... Because at the time when I started getting into the more high fidelity aircraft, it was only the A32NX which was out, and back then it was like nowhere near as advanced as it is now. So yeah, I just started to wish for more, want more out of my flight sim airliners. So that's when I started trying out X-Plane, and conveniently the CRJ came out not long after that, which was a good step up from what we had. And then the Mercantile CJ4 as well, which was quite nice. But although that being said, it's fairly straightforward aircraft. Daniel says, my Boeing yoke keeps banking left in game. Any tips to fix this? I would check your dead zones, Daniel, in your control settings. It's quite likely that it's an issue with if you've got rudder pedals or you've got a noisy axis. That is probably the cause, I would imagine. Matt Russo says, I've got a problem with the Vienna default scenery. I'm not sure, to be honest, Matt Rasso. I've not used the default for many moons. I think I've been using this. This was, again, Vienna. It was one of the first airport sceneries that was released for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I can't really remember what the default one was like, to be honest. In fact, I don't think I've ever used the default. I think I started flying into Vienna when I got the scenery. Captain Shaquille, welcome to the chat from the American Airlines break room in Charlotte, NC. Very good. Welcome, dude. Welcome. I hope you're having a good break. Hope you're not too busy today. Welcome indeed. Quizzy, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Welcome indeed. Dave's loaded the wrong airport. No worries at all, Dave. Will probably be a while. As you know, I like to ramble on for quite a while. Yeah. Good tips there, guys, for beginners. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just practice, really. You just got to practice. Watch the tutorials. What I used to do when I first started learning airliners is if there was something that I didn't really... if I didn't recognize, what a certain button was, or I didn't understand a certain element, I would just Google it or look on YouTube. There's so many tutorials and informational articles out there. It's just absolutely insane. Pretty much everything you can learn to fly an airliner is out there, 100% on a flight sim. Right, okay then. So let's get cracking then. The poll says live time. I thought that was going to go to daylight for a bit there, but it looks like the poll is going to be live time. 24 votes as well. Not too bad at all, guys. So thank you very much for voting. Here we are at Vienna. Obviously, I set it to daytime just for the beginning of the stream there, but let's go ahead and set it to real time. And there we are. Look at that beautiful tower there. Love to see it. The night lighting at this airport is just fantastic as well. Right. Okay then, so as we normally do, chat, I am going to run through the OFP with you guys. We'll do a briefing for the flight today, and then we'll jump in and get set up. We've already had the captain on board, who's the pilot monitoring today. He's already been in and set up a few bits and bats, but for now, we'll go through the OFP. Right, so today we're going to be Austrian 531. It's the 11th of February. We're going to be flying from Vienna, Schwechat. Apologies for my pronunciation if there's anyone Austrian out there. To Prevetola in Italy again. Sorry, Italians for the pronunciation. Vienna to Florence, let's just say. We're going to be flying in a Boeing 736. Registration is Oscar Echo Lima, November Lima. And again, real world aircraft, or it used to at least be for Austrian. Distance we're covering today is 411 miles. Call sign is going to be Austrian 531. And we're expecting to get off blocks at 1840 Zulu and arriving in Vienna at 10 past 8 Zulu time. Takeoff weight today, expecting 49.1 tons. And we're expecting a little bit of a tailwind for the trip today. Cruising at flight level 400 today, so very high up, and yeah, it should be really, really cool to do that. It's been a while since we've been up to 400, I think, unless actually we did that in the CJ4, I think. Alternate is Rome Fiumicino, I think that is. And looking further down, trip time is 1 hour and 3 minutes, and the alternate time to Fiumicino is going to be 46 minutes if we need to divert for whatever reason. Block fuel, we're going to call for 5113. It says the dispatcher's here, but we're going to actually we'll go for 5200 instead. I think today, just round that up because it is quite busy in Europe at the moment. But I can't imagine there are going to be any significant delays. But we'll just round that up anyway. So coming further down for the routing, we're expecting runway 29 here at Vienna on the Rupert to Charlie departure. We can actually check the ATIS here as well. So we have a look on the left here, we've got departure runway 29er, so that is going to be highly likely we get that departure as well. And then for the arrival into Florence, it's going to be the Big 23 Papa on to runway 05. So looking further down, we've got 76 passengers today, so not particularly full. This aircraft can carry around 110, I think, if I remember correctly, and 500 kilos of cargo. Coming further down, have a quick look at the weather here. The weather is looking pretty much okay. No significant weather reports, and we've got some wind here at Vienna, but nothing too crazy. And again, at the weather at Florence, very, very fine. Almost no wind, cav okay. We do have 6 degrees temperature here in Vienna, so we will have to have the anti-ice on for the departure, but on the arrival we unlikely will do. It is Rome Fiumicino for the alternate there, so that's that. And the weather at Fiumicino also very, very fine indeed. So looking at our routing, we're just going to initially go, well, we're just going to basically go southwest over to the north of Italy and then down to the south onto the arrival into Florence. And then the significant weather charts, nothing showing there. You can see there's a jet stream coming in at the top here, but that's not going to affect us. And the wind, as you can see, we've got that prevailing northeasterly, which should give us a nice little tailwind for the trip today. Right, so we'll have a look at the charts once we get set up here, but for now, let's get cracking. Andy, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Great to be here for a Saturday stream. Well, great to have you, Andy. Great to have you. Quite a weekend ahead of my holiday to Thailand on Tuesday. Very good, very good. Who are you flying to Thailand with, if you don't mind me asking? Paul, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Sorry, did I miss my answer? Needed a restroom. I'm not sure I actually caught your question earlier on, Paul. If you want to just to put it in there again, I can't actually see any previous messages you've sent there. Custom menu, you have, what is the theme for that mode? Custom menu. Which custom menu is that you're referring to there, NPS? Do you mean in the sim or in, what else have I shown? SimToolkitPro? I think I'm using default colors for SimToolkitPro at least. Marissa says here, when I learned to use the fly-by-wire, I simply watched the tutorial. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yep. What am I using? What do you mean, what am I using, Super Gamer? What application was I just looking at for the OFP? That was SimToolkitPro. Am I using Volanta? No, I'm not. No, I'd actually have given up on Volanta. I've not given up on it, but I used to run Volanta and SimToolkitPro at the same time during my flights, and because I hardly ever referred to Volanta, I was always using SimToolkitPro because there's just so much more in there. I found Volanta, it ended up being a bit redundant for me, so I've just kind of, when I put Windows 11 on my computer on a clean install, I just didn't bother installing Volanta again, just because, like I say, it felt a bit redundant for me. Because I run SimToolkitPro every time, regardless, because of the up there. Oops, wrong button. Because up there, the overlay. Wait, I can't point my finger in the right direction. There we go. Up there, the overlay, that's SimToolkitPro, and I much prefer that to the one that Volanta offers. So yeah. Logitech, Cytec. Sorry, Paul, I can't see the previous question you asked. You'll have to expand it a little bit more for that, for me to actually answer that. I'm not sure what you're asking there still. Dave, we're at stand Sierra 3-1. Oh, in the sim I have a menu circle. Oh, okay. That's Flow Pro MPS. This one right here. That is Flow. Stephen, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Can't decide if I should get the 737, says Super Gamer. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're not sure, I would just wait. I would just wait. It's always the best policy. Unless you've got money to burn, in which case, I would say just get it and try it out. Flying with Etihad. Oh, very good, Andy. Not the A380. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm still yet to fly on an A380. I've never flown on one. I really cannot wait. Well, I say I cannot wait. I haven't got anything booked, but I am most certainly, every time I'm looking to go somewhere, I'm always looking to see if I can find somewhere that is going to be flown to on an A380. Okie dokie. Right then, chat. Let's get cracking, shall we? So we're going to be today in this beautiful 737-600, the dinky little plane that it is. Absolutely love this livery. There's something about it that just looks real nice. I think I always say this when we fly the classic Austrian livery, just because of it's the blue belly and the blue engines and the blue brake disc covers. I think that's what they are, or whatever these plates are on the wheels that are coloured in blue. It just, yeah, looks real nice. Real nice. Any hoosers, let's jump on board then, and we'll get set up. So, unfortunately, this livery doesn't have a cabin customized, but that's fine. At least it's not glowing like that Transavia was on the other day. So, let's get set up then. Cabin's looking... You can really get a sense of how small this aircraft is if you stand at the front like this. Look how... You can see right how little amount of seats there are. Anyways, let's get jumped in to the flight deck then, and we'll get set up. So, like I said, the captain has already been on board today. He's going to be the pilot monitoring for today, and he has done a little bit of setup in here. So there's not too much for us to do initially. We've just really got to program the FMC. Iris is all aligned and looking good. So let's jump in then and start plugging a few bits and bats in. Right, so let's do it. I think what we can probably do as well whilst we run through this is we can probably start the boarding, I think, because this is not going to take long to do, is it? So let's do that. Well, we'll request refueling as well, and we'll request boarding. Right, okie dokes. So we're going to be Austrian 531. I'm actually going to set that here on the yoke, even though pretty much never actually use that as a reminder, to be quite honest, but hey ho, I've got this new camera angle here, so maybe it will actually be useful today. Right, okay, so carrying on then, back to, we don't want to board the crew. Right, so we'll go to ident. I just updated the nav data in here because I've not flown 600 in ages. It was out of date. So nav database that is active is current. That's all looking good there. Posinit we've already done. Reference airport is low, and the gate Foxtrot 32. So the route we're going to do is from LOWW to LIRQ. And we'll do a flight plan request there and bring in the routing. Interested in the flight multi-panel? Do I need SPAD to use it with the 737? Yeah, I don't actually know that, Paul. I've not got one. I don't think you do with the 737, but I don't think it's a requirement, but it would probably be better, I think. I think you can do more with it with SPAD. Right, I think the refuel is here. Is indeed. Lovely, lovely. Right, so fuel-wise, we wanted 5,200 kilos. So we'll get that rolling. Whilst we're here as well, we'll set our payload. We've got 76 passengers today. Let's say there's 70 in economy and 6 in first class. And then for baggage, we'll go 300 in the aft and 200 in the forward. Right, cool. So, back to our routing. Let's load in the flight plan from ACARS. And whilst we wait for that, I'll bring this guy up as well. Right, so we're going to be departing. In fact, sorry, I'll come back here. We'll go runway 29. We're going to be AUA 531. Departing runway 29. Rupert 1 Charlie is what we can expect. So many SIDs here. Rupert 2 Charlie is what we're anticipating, and then arrival into Florence is going to be ILS 05 on the BIC 23 Papa with the NIBTO transition. So that's all good. Activate and execute. Our alternate is LIRF, which will stick in there. Cool. Right, cost index is going to be 3.5. Reserve fuel is going to be 2.5 tons. 2.5 tons and the zero fuel weight 44.2. Very, very light, this aircraft. Fuel is loaded, so we don't need to worry about putting the plan fuel in, so that's all good. Speaking of which, we'll stick the seatbelt signs on as well. Cruising flight level today is going to be 400. Recommended is 410, so that's absolutely no issues. Top of climb wind is going to be 019 at 4. And the temperature up there, minus 64 degrees. And the transition altitude here in Austria is going to be 10,000 feet. And we'll execute. Lovely. Right, and then for N1 limit... Roy, I did actually look into the performance tool you were recommending for this flight. I was going to look at potentially getting it, but they don't actually do the performance calculations for the 600, do they? So I'm going to make up some figures here. So we'll go for, because this is a pocket rocket, we're actually going to go for a pretty heavy D rate on this one. So we'll go for a 60 degrees assumed temperature, and we'll go for a 20k D rate with climb 2 for the climb out. So that's going to derate us quite heavily, but yeah, it'll just make things a little bit more manageable, I think. And to be quite honest, because this aircraft is such a pocket rocket, you don't really need to fly it at full thrust. Although that being said, we are going to use anti-ice for the departure. It's not recommended to use a selected temperature with anti-ice for the departure. In fact, I don't think you're even supposed to do it at all, but in this case, we are going to give it a go. Yeah, I think we'll be absolutely fine, to be quite honest. And I have tested it, to be fair, so I do know it'll be absolutely fine. The V-speed's still very, very low, even with such a heavy D rate. And the CG we can set there as well. Lovely. Right. NADP2 departure procedures here at Vienna. So... thrust reduction acceleration is we can leave as it is. That's no problem. And then for anything else, I think we are pretty much there. We'll just stick in the winds as well. Dave, yes, Sierra 31, yeah, Dave. Has anyone ever had a military intercept on a flight on Sim? I have actually, yes, Steve. Yes, so we had one on VATSIM. This guy was trying to troll me. Someone, I think they were a little bit salty at the fact that, well, there was a few issues on the ground while we were on Unicom. Not issues that I was knowingly causing, but because he wasn't communicating on Unicom. it meant that we almost sort of ran into each other, and I think he got a bit angry at that and ended up coming to try and intercept me. So, carrying on then for our departure. We are going to... we'll just mark out the engine out SID, which is for runway 29. Let's just put in... Interesting. That's a very strange design. Deletes my takeoff speeds, and they're actually slightly different now. Is it sensing the weight, the current weight? No, it can't be, because it's not changing. Anyway. Right, so engine out SID. We'll just stick in the airport reference point. As I'm fairly certain there's no way to actually put a departure runway in here. I know you can go in here and select an arrival runway. So say if I selected this runway 05, I could drop it in the fix page. But I don't believe there is a way to do that for departures. Let's just try runway 29. I'm fairly certain that is not how it works. Let's just cross-check this. Yeah, neither of them are going to be correct, so we'll just come back here. We'll stick in the airport reference point, and for the engine out SID, it's going to be... Actually, we don't even need to put that in here, do we? We don't need to put that. What am I on about? We put in Delta Mike Whiskey. And then at 7.4 miles... Oh, that's a typo. So it's actually FMD. FMD. And then we want 7.4 miles. We'll just put in... Because you can't put just a distance in, can you? So I'll just put in like that. And then Bravo Romeo Kilo. So there we go. If we have to go around, it's straight ahead to this ring, and then a left turn round to Bravo Romeo Kilo, which is not shown here. Where is Bravo Romeo Kilo? Oh, it doesn't show up, does it? Unless you put an actual ring around it. So we'll just put... We'll just put a 2 mile ring around it so we can actually see it. Oh, okay, maybe it still doesn't show. Huh? Let's just check the charts here, 1 second. I think we had this last time when we flew out of Vienna. I couldn't find Bravo Romeo Kilo anywhere. I think that's what it was. Yeah, God damn it. Right. Yeah, no, I'm not sure Bravo Romeo Kilo is actually in service anymore. It's an NDB 408, but it doesn't seem to be there. Anyways, never mind. We shall leave it at that for now. We are hopefully not going to have an engine out. We do have service-based failures on today, but I'm sure we'll be absolutely fine. Right, okay, so that's all that done. The boarding is complete. The initial climb we can expect is 5,000. I'll just leave that 5,100 because we've not been cleared yet, so we'll just leave it at that for now. Right, cool. Let's finish our setup here. We'll get the APU fired up. And let's have a word then with Vienna. And we'll see if we can get a clearance. So 1194 is the frequency. And then we've got the approach on as well, 134675. I'll tune that one as well.
Clear for takeoff, runway 29 knot.
Right, and then we'll show the terrain, data, traffic, terrain, traffic, airport. And then the VSI or VSD will show there as well. Let's grab the ATIS. So.
Hi, Serbia 359 Vienna, hello. Request clearance to FR.
Information Oscar.
Serbia 359 Vita, hello. Controller change in progress. Next controller will give you the clearance. Stand by.
Oh, the controller change. So I'll have to wait for that anyway. QNH is 1031. Yeah, so we'll just hang on a few minutes before we get our clearance. We still are going to do a controller change, so we'll just set the QNH for now. Right, lovely. So, pre-flight checklist. Oxygen is tested, 100% nav transfer and display switches are normal and auto. Window heat is on. Pressurization mode selector is in auto. Flight instruments are heading 201 and altitude 600 feet. QNH 1031 and the engine start levers are in cutoff. Pre-flight checklist complete.
India established ILS 34, servus.
Okay, gefolgt India Winter, hello, wind 290 degrees, 1 turn on.
Right, let's just wait a couple of minutes while they do this changeover because there's no point requesting clearance because he'll just say the same thing as what he did to the previous guy. So we'll do a takeoff briefing as I'm fairly certain we'll get what we are expecting here. So let's have a look. We are going to be departing out of Vienna, Austria. This is the 10-9er chart. We're currently parked here at this pier down here. And let's have a closer look. So we're currently at Foxtrot 36 here. We're departing runway 29, which is basically here. So for the taxi, we can expect to push back onto one of these different coloured lines. So I've got centre, orange or blue. So it's probably going to be pushed back onto one of these and then a taxi down on to... It always confuses me what the name of this taxiway here is Tango Lima 40? Or Link 40? I'm not sure what they call it here. I always forget. So let's see. But it's going to be straight ahead, then a right onto Whiskey most likely. And then continuing down onto Whiskey. Then from Whiskey, we'll come down probably this way. And then I left onto Mike, and then onto Alpha 1 there. So that'll be the taxi out, I imagine. And then we are going to be departing on the Rupert 2 Charlie. This is the 10-3 Sierra charts. This is an RNAV SID. So this is a Rupert 2 Charlie RNAV departures from runway 29 and 34. Transition altitude 10,000 feet and the airport elevation 600 feet. Contact VN radar when advised by tower, which we will do. And we've got noise abatement procedures in place. So the departure itself is going to take us initially straight ahead to Whiskey 304. This is a flyover fix, and the minimum altitude there 1,300 feet. Sorry, wrong one. We're going to initially climb straight ahead up to 1,000 feet, and then we're going to take a left turn into Whiskey 296. We'll then take a right turn out to Whiskey 383, and then another right turn out to Whiskey 712, and then a left turn out to Rupert. Initial climb clearance we can expect is 5,000 feet, and then initial turns with max 205 knots and a bank angle of at least 20 degrees, which we will make sure is all in there. So that's that for the departure. And let's just jump it back over here and make sure we've got everything plugged in correctly. So we've got 1,000 feet, and then the initial turn, 205 knots maximum. So we'll put in 205 or below, and then we'll just stick that in here, and we'll execute that. So Whiskey 296, that's the initial turn, 205 or below, that's fine. No worries, and then that's it really. Pretty straightforward for any restrictions, and then the initial climb clearance, like I say, we can expect 5,000, but I'm not going to change this until we've actually got our clearance. So we'll set up the rest of our MCP as well. So 122 is the V2 speed. Heading 2901 is the correct heading for the departure. That's the runway heading, and then we'll just set up the initial 2 tracks here on the course knobs, even though there's no real need to, because there's no real backup for this departure. We'll just set it anyway. I hate having them set to 0. I think the controller changes happen now. It sounds like a different voice, so we'll request that clearance in just a sec. And then for the well, we can't really, like I say, there's nothing really that we can use as a backup as such. We could tune the FMD VOR, and then we've got a backup on that DME information if we have an engine out, which we shouldn't do. Right, that is one crazy looking PFD. Anyways, right, we are ready to rock and roll pretty much. Let's get our clearance then, shall we? Vienna Tower, very good evening. Austrian 531, stand stand Sierra 31. Type Boeing 736. Information Oscar QNH 1031. Request clearance to Florence.
Austrian 531 winter, hello. You clear to Florence via Rupert to Charlie departure. Initial climb 5,000 feet, squawk 1000, QNH 1031.
Clear to Florence, Rupert to Charlie, initial climb 5,000, squawk 1000, QNH 1031, Austrian 531. And sorry, I made a mistake earlier. We're actually at stand Foxtrot 32, not Sierra 31. Foxtrot 32. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Dave. I said Sierra 31 so many times, haven't I? It's because on my notepad here, I've written the 5. It looks so much like an S, but it's actually my call sign 531. God, I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry, Dave. But yes, we're here. You could use. Oh, there you are. Beautiful. Okay, no worries. You found me. Right. Okay. So we're ready and cleared. Everything is looking good. Okie dokes. AP should be fired up now. Let's get it on the bus and make sure the parking brake's set. Cool. And we can go ahead and remove the wheel chocks and ground power now as we prepare for pushback. Everything else is good. Right, cool. So let's just make sure everything else is set here as it should be. Okay, so before start, down to the line. Flight deck door is closed and locked. Fuel is 5.2 tons. Pumps are on. Windows and doors are locked. MCP is V2122, heading 2901, altitude 5,000 feet. Auto brake is set to RTO. CDO pre-flight is completed. Parking brake is set. Rudder and aileron trim is 3 and 0.
My fault. Taxi Foxtrot 365 Echo. Sorry.
And the taxi and takeoff briefing is complete. Before start, down to the line is complete. Right then, chat. Lovely jubbly. Let's get the tug on the way. Ready and waiting for us there. We're actually on time, chat. We're actually 10 minutes early. Crikey.
Okay, thanks. Porta 5, try and final runway 29.
Try final 29, Porta 5,
It's got the wrong ICAO code, surely, for this aircraft. 737. Should be a 736. Okie dokie.
Departure checks completed. Bypassing inside.
45 to the unresponding traffic in lift short final 2921 right orbit.
Porta 5, copy.
Thanks.
Austrian 531 stand F Foxtrot 32 ready for push and start.
Austrian 531 push and start approved, blue line.
Push and start approved, blue line, Austrian 531. Right, before start, below the line.
282 confirm ready for taxi.
Fasten seatbelt switch is on, anti-collision light is on, and the parking brake is currently set. Before start, checklist complete. Let's get the transponder on. And we're going to go to the blue line.
Release parking brakes.
Okay, okay, parking brake is released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start.
Get the APU bleed on. I'll go for an engine start on number 2. Start this guy as well. Can't see it in the dark. Right, number 2 starts.
Is the landing on runway 11 possible currently, or is the traffic situation high?
But if the aircraft should be away. But the 5 chance final runway 29.
And final again, runway 29, Porta 5.
25% N2. Start the fuel flow.
Lot 25 expedite via Delta to gate Foxtrot 36.
Question is though, chat, can you turn the cabin lighting off in the PMDG? So dark. Right onto the blue line there. Love to see it.
Please set parking brakes.
Right, parking brake is set. Okay, okay. Engine start on number 1. %, N2.
Hello, 25. I'm very sorry. I forgot to cross cable. Sorry for that.
No worries.
Start on 420 wind tower low. Wind 230 degrees, 1 knots from Mesa traffic crossing.
Confirm continue approach for 40, I can't read you very good.
Start on 420, take on.
So dark, man. There we go.
Continue approach for 40.
Quarter 5, wind 230 degrees, 1 knots from Mesa traffic.
29 clear to land, quarter 5.
Okie dokie. Got 2 good engine starts there. Lovely jubbly. Okie dokes. So, after start, transponder is on alt off. That's all looking good. Hide this guy. That's all good. Lovely, lovely. Now arm the auto thrusts. We'll set the trim before I forget. 4.78. That should do it. Right. Everything looks good on here. Coming up above. Engine start switches to continuous. Get the generators on. Anti-ice can come on as well, and the probe heats. Packs can come on now. APU bleed can come off. And we'll turn the APU itself off. Right, lovely. After start checklist, generators are on, anti-ice is engine only, APU is off, engine start switch is continuous, recall is checked, engine start levers are in idle, flight controls,
Quarter 5 vacated.
and rudder pedals we cannot actually see. There we go. Flight controls are checked. Ground equipment is clear. Yeah, tug is long gone. I'm sure the captain caught the signal there. And we'll go ahead and set the flaps to 5 before we start the taxi. Eddie, what does below the line refer to? So it's just basically the checklist. So on the before start checklist for the Boeing, you guys probably can't see it too well actually, but if you look at the before start checklist, for example, on the Boeing, the standard Boeing checklist for the 737NG series, you have like a dotted line up to a certain point on the checklist, and that's basically you would run that checklist. Well, I suppose it depends on company SOPs, but the way I do it is that I do down to the line before I'm cleared to push, and then below the line after I'm cleared to push. Right, and we'll get the dome light off now as well. Very dark. Maybe we actually just put it on dim. Or we could just do maybe a bit of that as well. That's not too bad, is it? Right. Cool. Austrian 531, request taxi.
Austrian 531, set squawk 1505, taxi 1 runway 29 via Whiskey and Mike.
Squawk 1505 and taxi via Whiskey and Mike, runway 29, Austrian 531.
Lufthansa 282, contact 391,
So he's given us a different squawk now. So 1505.
Flat to 5 on blocks, thanks for service, bye.
Okay, and then Whiskey and Mike. So as expected for the taxi out. So off we go. Get the taxi lights on. Parking brake released. Let's go, chat. Got Dave ready to go there as well. Someone else in an Austrian back there. Austrian 320, the new colours. And then we've got a lot Polish Airlines 737. Very nice indeed. So for the taxi out, it's basically following this line out, and then the first right. Can't really see where that turning is currently.
Zinertek, gate Delta 28 via Delta and Lima.
Delta 28 via Delta and Lima, Storm 40.
Got another aircraft manoeuvring over there. Very difficult to see what it actually is. Okie dokie, so this is the first right turn here, so that's whiskey down there. It's quite difficult to see the signage, but let's see, is there actually any signage? We've got the whiskey mark there. The signage is very, very dim at this scenery. They've only just done a big update on this one as well. I would have thought they would have made that a little bit clearer. Right, transponder is in transponder. That's good. Lovely stuff. And then we're on whiskey here, so following whiskey around to the right here. And then we're going to take a left turn on to Mike. Then another right turn to the holding point for runway 29er. Right, so before takeoff checklist, flaps are 5, green light, trim is set to 4.78 units before takeoff checklist is complete. Guys, I'll catch up with your messages in the chat once we get airborne here.
Austrian 531, Alpha 3 is approved.
Alpha 3 approved for Austrian 531. Yeah, we'll go straight ahead and hold at Alpha 3. Okay.
Austrian 531, wind 280 degrees, 1 green out, runway 29, clear to takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 29 at Austrian 531. Great, so he's given us basically Alpha 3 for departure, which is essentially the which is essentially the holding point straight in front of us. So we're just gonna, you can see it there actually on the sign, Alpha 3. It's very difficult to see, but it is there. So we're just gonna go straight ahead. We don't need the full runway. And we're clear for takeoff. Let's get the landing lights on to remind ourselves of that fact. Fsdreamteam's in the chat. Let's go MPS. Love it. Right, entering the runway now, so strobe lights can come on. All looks clear. All right, guys. So, take off. Engines are stabilized. Toga. N1 Toga. Airspeed is alive. 80 knots. Thrust is set. V1 rotates. As I said, this thing is an absolute pocket rocket. Positive rates. Gear up.
1045, hello, Quebec, correct, clear to Charlie Goal via Fenix 1 Charlie departure, initially 5,000 feet, score 1,000 connection.
LNAV.
Medic 1 Charlie departure, initial ground 5,000 feet, score 1,000 and coordination
And 1.
031, Austrian 415.
Austrian 415, correct. Austrian 531, contact in radar 134.675.
135, 675, Austrian 531. Alright, bugging up. Flaps to 1. All to quiet, MCP speeds. BN radar, very good evening. Austrian 531. 5,000 feet, Rupert 2 Charlie departure.
Austrian 5.
Flaps up.
Flight level 240.
Climb flight level 240, Austrian 531. Okie dokie, okie dokie. So FMC speed VNAV alt. Flight level 210 cleared up to. We'll set standard. N1 VNAV speeds 21,000 sets. Speed is increasing. We're accelerating. Let's get the gear off. Water brake off. Get the nose lights off as well. And just check we are pressurizing, which we are. Lovely stuff. As we, as I said, chat, this thing climbs like crazy. Even though we were on that. Oh.
Austrian 5, please on direct Rupert.
Direct Rupert, Austrian 531. Right, TCAS I forgot to turn on. That was one thing that I did forget, but hey ho, not a big deal. Okie dokie. Look at this climb rate though. Absolutely love to see it. Alright, flight level 100. So difficult to see in here. Landing lights can come off. Engine start switches to off. Logo light we should have really had on for the taxi out there, but never mind. Pressurization is looking fine. We'll get the seatbelt signs off now. I can just put them in auto. And after takeoff checklist. Wait, oh, it's so difficult to see. Hang on. There we go. There we go, that's better. Okie dokie, so after takeoff checklists, engine bleeds are on, packs are auto, landing gear is up and off, flaps are up, no lights, after takeoff checklist complete. Okie dokie. Nice little departure there. I do like the 736. It just handles super nicely in my opinion. Alright, can we do something with this light as well? I know this is a bit silly, but I'm going to angle it up like that, just so this part of the glare shield isn't totally pitch black. Okie dokie, lovely stuff. Not much to see outside, unfortunately. Very dark. Right. Lovely. Right, I'll catch up with some of your messages in just a moment then.
Austrian 531, contact Wien, radar 133, that's my right, bye bye.
1338, Austrian 531, bye. 1338 for us now. Oh, 1,000 to go. Let's just bring vertical speed down a bit. Austrian radar, very good evening. Austrian 531, flight level 205, leveling at flight level 210, inbound Rupert.
Austrian 531, Wien radar contact, climb level 400.
Climb level 400, Austrian 531. Off we go then, chat. Flight level 400. Let's go VNAV.
Roger, that's Christopher.
N1 VNAV speed. Off we go.
6, you are on my frequency. You should be with another station. Contact Wien 1292 and please contact JustFlight.
Did I get the right call sign for this controller?
Agrees 81134.
What was it? 1338. Oh, it's VN radar. I said Austria radar. Never mind. Right, off we go.
Agrees Air 12, contact Wien radar 13435. Bye bye.
So dark.
Aeroflot 2514, report requested at level.
Right, let's catch up with some of the messages then. Great views, maybe daytime. Yeah, there are some really nice views on this flight. We go right over the Alps as we're coming up to now, and it is really, really stunning. But unfortunately, the chat voted for nighttime.
Aeroflot 2514, Wien radar.
Aeroflot 2514, go ahead, sir.
Aeroflot 2514, report.
Yeah, that's the one, right? 700, 600, same as a 500 Classic.
350 requesting.
Scandinavian has the name of the 600, Griesen the Pig. Yes, I remember. I think you said that last time. Yeah, yeah. I can see why. To be fair, it is kind of short and stubby, like a pig in a way. I think Scandinavian were the launch customer for the 600, weren't they? As well. I think they actually had the most number of these aircraft.
We are unable for 400 and we should descend to 360.
How long does it take to download the PMDG? It depends on your internet connection, I suppose, but it is quite a big file depending on which variant you go for. Roy's ears are popping, very good. I bet, yeah. I bet people's ears did pop quite frequently in the in this aircraft.
Report your Mach number.
Mach number 0.78.
Sunset 56 Bravo, Mach decimal 77 or less.
Mach decimal 77 or less, Sunset 56 Bravo.
Aeroflot 2514, nothing further, monitor Unicorn 128, bye-bye.
Unicorn 128, danke sehr. Servers.
Very nice handling, yeah. Patriot lights as well, yeah.
Wien radar frequency 129.2, bye-bye.
That might have been for me.
Transavia 441, contact Wien radar 129.2.
Okay, it wasn't. No, never mind. Let's have a look. Let's see if we are going to get past to anyone next, because I don't think we are, to be quite honest. I think next we're just going to go to Unicom, unfortunately.
Transavia 441, contact Wien 129.2.
Yeah, probably not. That's sad. Never mind. Right. Let's see. But yeah, I agree with that, Patrick. Yeah. Yeah, you can feel the conditions a little bit more, but at the same time, it's not crazy like a GA aircraft, I suppose.
Cargo 5 Echo Hotel, Wien radar contact 290.
The engines are the same. Yeah, exactly. It's got the same engines, hasn't it? MPS as the 700 and 800 and the 900 even, I believe.
Claudia 486, contact Wien radar 13435. Bye-bye.
I love it, Roy. Spacesuit on. Very good. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't need much space for takeoff, does it? We're absolutely powered through that takeoff roll. 9 months, DK. Lawrence, thank you very much for the 9 months, my friend. Much appreciated. I think you're actually on 10 months, to be quite honest with you. I'm getting 10 months here in my stream elements. It says 10 months. For some reason, YouTube only says 9. Nevertheless, thank you very much for your continued support. Let's roll the notification. Thank you very much, Lloyd. Much appreciated. And, of course, we had Schutz renew their Platinum membership as well for the same amount of time. I don't think he's in the chat currently, but that just happened a couple of days ago, so let's shout that out as well. Why not? Do I remember Air 2000 and JMC? I know of them, but I would have been very young when they were around, so I do not remember them from a first-hand experience. Just from an aviation background, I suppose, is where I know them from. But yeah, classic liveries indeed. They are very, very cool, retro-looking liveries. Very 90s, aren't they?
Egypt 980, proceed direct Akini.
Shaquille says Sim looks great. I have the same build. Mine don't look that good. Well, Shaquille, I'm using some NVIDIA filters. Maybe that might be the difference. So if you type in the chat exclamation point NVIDIA, then my NVIDIA should give you a link to my NVIDIA filters. In fact, I'll drop it in there for you. And then there's settings as well. Sorry, not settings, it's graphics.
Egypt 980, contact Wien 13435.
Yeah, MPS Gaming, that's where I got my Flow Pro from Morbex. Yeah.
Egypt 980, contact Wien radar 13435, bye bye.
13435, Egypt 980, bye bye.
Very good. Enjoy your curry, Paul. I don't know if you're still there. What flavour vape? It's a flavour called Mr. Blue, Paul. It's so vague. Right.
Austrian 531, Adria radar is offline, monitor unit command 1228, have a nice flight, bye bye, good evening.
1228, thank you very much, and you have a good evening. Thank you, bye. Right, 1228 for us, chat, unfortunately, but hey ho, maybe someone comes online. Cockpit is the same as the other PMDGs. It is, yeah, absolutely. It's exactly the same. The main difference really is just this air conditioning panel up here. Slightly different, a little bit more old school, but other than that, that is really really it. Turn the engine anti-ice off now, can't we? Love to see it, Roy. Glad to hear it's doing good for you. In fact, this brings me nicely onto what I was talking about earlier on regarding my parking brake in the PMDG, actually. So we are on Unicom at the moment, so I'll just go ahead and show you this. So in fact, no, I can show you in SPAD without actually having to bring up having to pause the sim. So I discovered the other day, so you guys may remember I've had some issues with the parking brake in the past, and obviously I'm well aware of the fact that you have to hold the toe brakes down to engage the parking brake and vice versa. I'm fully aware of that. And I don't know how long this problem has been going on for, because to be honest, I don't think I've actually checked, but right, 1,000 to go. Still climbing at 1,400 feet a minute, even at this altitude. Interestingly enough, though, we're on climb thrust. I thought I set D rate to climb 2. Yeah, we're on normal climb. Maybe that got reset when I changed something. I wonder if we did a full I wonder if we did a full power takeoff then, chat. I think we might have done. That might be why we climbed so fast initially. I think we did a full power. I think because when I was messing around with my flight plan, it must have reset the N1 limit as well as the takeoff speeds. Yeah, probably did. Anyway, never mind. Carrying on with what I was saying. So, yeah, I don't know how long this has been an issue, but I can show you guys right here. If I bring up the fuzz pad real quick, and I've got spad.next open on there. So my toe brakes, obviously you've got to press them down to release the parking brake, and we had so many issues. These are my toe brake right here. So we had so many issues with the parking brake not releasing. I just couldn't work out why it was, and I didn't think this would be an issue because my rudder pedals are not that old, but my right toe brake's absolutely fine. You can see the travel is all the way from the start to the end, basically. But if you look at my left toe brake, if I push the pedal all the way down, you see how it doesn't go all the way to the end there. There's a little bit of red there. Oops. If I zoom in a bit on this, like this, you can see there's a little bit of red there at the end. So basically the PMDG, in fact, if I bring up the response curve, you can see this even better. So if you look at the response curve, you can see how it doesn't go all the way to the end, this red cross, and you can see it kind of jitters around. That's me just holding full left toe brake here. So that's why I had the issue with the, I think that's why I had the issue with the parking brake, because the left toe brake wasn't actually getting depressed the full way, which I totally did not realize until actually just last night. So, yeah, I've basically put the toe brakes into SPAD now, and essentially with the toe brake on here, you can actually choose where the max brake pressure gets applied. So I've actually got it applied so it actually hits max brake before it actually gets to the end of the travel here, which solves the issue basically. But that's, I think, the reason why we had so many issues with the toe brake in the past. It wasn't a PMDG issue. It wasn't... yeah, it wasn't a PMDG issue, and it wasn't a GSX issue like I was sort of led to believe, or that I led myself to believe, really. It's actually to do with my actual rudder pedals. So I think what I need to do is I need to actually... I think I need to take them apart and clean the potentiometer for that brake. But for now, the solution I've got, you know, it works fine, but I think it needs a clean, to be honest. So that's going to be a big task. I think it's quite difficult to actually... I have taken these pedals apart before, so I'm fairly confident I know what I'm doing, but it's just a lot of screws to get to the actual brake potentiometer, so that's going to take a while. Right, well, we're coming over the Alps now, chat, so let's just make it daytime for a minute, just so we can see what's going on here, because it is pretty spectacular coming over here. Like, look at that. Absolutely lovely. Love to see it. Anyway, back to real time. We'd love to see a 757 in the sim. Yeah, me too, Andy. There's a 757 on its way, though, by Bluebird Simulations, which does look quite good. It's not going to be a study level. It's not going to be a study level aircraft, but it does look like it's going to be quite high fidelity. It's probably going to be similar level to the CRJ, I think, which will be quite nice, I think, actually. So yeah, looking forward to that. It looks like they've done an incredible job on the modelling and texturing of it. But highly recommend looking that one up if you're interested in the 757. It's Bluebird Simulations. And yes, 66 passengers MPS. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, very light. Patrick's figured out the parking brakes as well. Very good. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with me is because I always knew how the parking brakes worked. But confirmation bias, I suppose, crept in, and I was kind of blaming everything but my own, controller, really, that was causing the issue. So, yeah, I'm glad we got to the bottom of that in the end. MPS has the Thrustmaster Pendular Rudder. Yeah, they look fantastic. I would really like them. I do want a pair of good rudder pedals. I'm kind of sick of these, to be honest with you. They just feel so not great. Like the travel on them, I've put some different I put a different kind of what's the word now? I've put a different kind of grease on them, like lubricant or whatever you want to call it, called Neo Gel, and it's basically like it helps the rudder pedals move smooth, but actually adds some resistance, which is quite nice. But again, it still doesn't feel that great. It feels better than they did when I first bought them, but still doesn't feel great. I'm not a huge fan of these pedals, so I'm hoping one day I'll be able to get the pendular rudders, and failing that, I think we'll probably get what they call the crosswind MFGs. I think is probably the next best bet. I think they're a bit cheaper than the pendular rudders. Roy says I would recommend to use SPAD for all your controllers and switch everything off. Yeah, so Roy, my view on that is so I do have everything on my throttle quadrant set up, except for the rudder in SPAD. But when it comes to my joystick, I would like to do that, but I find setting a sensitivity curve in SPAD is super, super fiddly, and I don't know, I suppose I've just not found the time to really sit in and dial in a good curve in SPAD just yet, because it is, it's literally just you in the curve, and you can only set it to, you can't set it fully linear. I say you can't set it fully linear. You can set it fully linear, but you can only move the point, and it makes like a nice smooth curve, doesn't it? You can't make it straight in between 2 points, and you can't. Yeah, it's just very fiddly, I find. So I've just not found the time to get around to doing that yet. So hopefully one day I will do that, but I would like to do that, to be honest. But the thing is with me, for my joystick, pretty much all the controls I use on my joystick, they're all the same for every aircraft, so it's not as big of a deal to actually not have it in SPAD, whereas on my throttle quadrant everything changes pretty much from aircraft to aircraft, so I can live with the joystick being just in Microsoft Flight Simulator for now, at the very least. That is good to know, MPS, yeah. I mean, I suppose for the money that you pay for them, I would expect to definitely change the angle of the pedals and the tension in them for sure. Which pedals do I have? I have the Thrustmaster, what are they called? Thrustmaster T-Flight rudder pedals, like the basic ones. I think they're about just under 100 British pounds, I think. But they plug straight into my TCA, which is quite convenient. But yeah, I don't really rate them at all. They're just very... When I first got them and I tried them out, I was like, really? Is this what I get for £100? Like, they just felt shocking, to be honest, when I first got them. Like, the tension in them is so loose. It just felt so bad. And I started to immediately regret my decision. I was like, am I going to return these and try the Logitech ones instead? But in the end, I decided to stick with them and get the Neo Gel on there, and that worked out okay, I suppose. But it's still not great. Oh, you don't use any curve at all, Roy? Crikey. Is it not really... some of the aircraft not really jumpy for you in the sim? I find that if I don't use a curve, it's... Well, for the Fenix, I don't use a curve, so that'd be easy enough. But for the PMDGs, I find they're a bit too twitchy without a curve. That being said, my joystick does have quite a a much smaller throw than the TCA that you're using. So maybe that's a difference. Right, guys, I'm just going to take a quick 2-minute break, and I will be I'll be back with you. So hang fire. I'll see you in a sec. All right, we're back. There's something called Houdini. It's a lubricant spray for lock mechanisms. Interesting. Does it work good on rudder pedals, Patrick? Is that what you're meaning? Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Right. Fair enough. Might be worth looking into. Sasha, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Welcome indeed. Gone to pour myself a beer. Not today, no, Andy. I'm just on the water today. Although I do have a bottle of wine in the fridge, so we shall see. Roy says, do the axis calibration on it as a profile, axis range, dead zone, smoothing, and minimum delta. They'll set off 0. Right. Yeah, well, maybe I'll have to have a bit more of a play around with that. As you know, I've not spent too much time messing around with all the calibration options in SPAD just yet. Have looked at them, but it seems like a lot of the options are just there for controllers that are having issues, if you know what I mean. And they're sort of compensation options, but maybe I'm just understanding it incorrectly. Right, anyways, let's see how we are doing here. We've got 55 miles to the top of descent. So let's go ahead and have a look at our arrival into Florence. So before I forget, we'll set the landing altitude to 150 feet, which is going to be the correct altitude for our destination airport. Very, very high delta P here, just below that orange band. Anyways, let's have a look at our arrival into Florence then, shall we? Okie dokie. So, we're going to be flying into Florence, Italy. It's the Peretola Airport. This is a 10-2 chart. We're expecting the Big 2-3 Papa arrival. And this is an RNAV arrival. Now, I think they've actually got some new arrivals into this airport. I was looking at these just earlier on today when I did the test flights. And I don't seem to recall the the chart's looking like this. So it looks like they've got some new procedures here at Florence since we last flew in there on the stream, which was quite some time ago. But I think they've got some new procedures here, which is interesting. So it's NAV1, airport elevation 142 feet. And then the procedure itself is going to bring us in via Big 2, down on the 217 track to Romeo, Quebec. 442, which has a minimum flight level constraint of flight level 110. We're then going to continue to Romeo, Quebec 412, which has a 230 knot speed restriction and a minimum 6,000 feet. And then a slight bearing to the right to 413. And that has got a max speed 210, minimum 4,000 there. Then another right turn to Utuvi. And our restriction there is neither of these, minimum 3,000 feet there. And then another right turn onto the final approach course towards NIB2, where there is also a holding. And minimum altitude there also 3,000 feet. So from NIB2, that's going to take us on to the approach on the ILS. So we're going to do the ILS Zulu for runway 05. This is the 10-11. This is for Cat C aircraft. Now, I think the 600 actually falls outside of Cat C. It might be a Cat B, maybe? Yeah, so our approach speed is going to be... Well, I suppose we are light. I think we can probably pass this as a Cat C aircraft, I think. I think the category goes on the max landing weight speed, so I imagine this would fall as a Cat C aircraft if it was max landing weight, which we're not going to be today, but that doesn't necessarily make a difference. Let's see what other charts there are just in case. Okay, that's fine. It'll be up to Cat C anyway, not excluding category A and B. So, let's have a look then. So, this is the 11-1, and the localizer is 110.3. India Foxtrot Zulu is the identifier. Final approach course is going to be 046 degrees, and the final approach fix at 4 miles from the localizer at 1,400 feet. Airport elevation is slightly higher than the runway itself at 123 feet. The MSA is highest in the northwest at 8,800 feet, although the easterly side of the airport does also have a high MSA of 7,800. So we're going to come in towards NIB2 then from the arrival, and then from NIB2, which is the initial approach fix there, basically continuing down the localizer and glide slope. 3 degrees is the descent angle standard, and we've got PAPIs on both sides of the runway, although I'm not sure the one on the right hand side is actually modelled. I think that's probably new. I don't think it's modelled in this scenery. And then our minimums, we're going to use 655 feet. We've got the minimum approach. We've got minimum climb gradient of 3.5%, which we'll be able to make there if we need to go around. So we'll take 655 as the minima. And then if we do need to go around, it is essentially a right turn as soon as practicable. Max 160 knots. And then we're intercepting the radial 169er from the Papa Romeo Tango VOR, climbing to 4,000 feet. And then holding fix at 17 PRT. And then do not turn before passing 1 mile IFZ, which is the ILS identifier, or before threshold 05. Or localizer missed approach point. So basically don't turn right. Do not turn before passing ILS DME 1 IFZ before the threshold 05, localize a missed approach point. Right, okay, that's fine. We're not going to go around anyway. Oh, we chat. And then once arriving, it's quite straightforward. We're going to come in runway 05. We're probably going to end up rolling out all the way to the end here. It is quite a short runway, only 5,118 feet here. 1,560 meters, so quite a short runway here, so we need to be very much on profile as we come in here and make sure that we're probably going to use, I think, probably flaps full to shorten out that landing roll, and maybe even max auto brake as well. But we'll probably roll out to the end, come down Papa Kilo, and then backtrack, and then take all the way to the end, and then a left turn to Foxtrot on to the apron there. That's about it. Stands will take probably take 10, I think it's 103 here is what we want. So basically straight up here, left turn, and then straight forwards onto 103. Nice and straightforward for the taxi in very small airport, as you can see, not many stands. Right, okay, so let's make sure everything is in. I think we've actually reached our top of descent while I've been talking there, which is surprising. But as you know, I waffle on forever. So we'll set 11,000 initially. And we'll carry on down. So VNAV speeds. Okie dokie, so let's make sure I've got everything tuned correctly then. So the ILS frequency was 1103, so we'll get that tuned on both sides here. And then we'll also tune the Peritola, or the Papa Romeo Tango VOR on the standby here, which is 1125. 125. Oops, I've done that the wrong way around there. Never mind. So 1103. One 103, 1125, 1103, 1125. Cool. And then the final approach course is 046 degrees. Is set. Okie dokie, that's about it that we need really. We can go ahead, come in here and just make sure we've got all the restrictions in correctly. So Romeo Kilo Quebec 422, 11,000 or above, 230 knots at Romeo Quebec 412, which is fine, 6,000 or above there as well. And then 413 is the same, 210 knots and 4,000. The 2V 3,000 or above, and then a Nibto 3,000 is fine. We've got a hold in there at Nibto, which we don't need, so we'll go ahead and just take. We've got the Centrifix 05. It did this to me earlier on, actually. I'm not quite sure why we've got that there. Let's just have a quick look on the plan view and just see what this looks like. Zoom that out a touch. 2V Nibto. And then the Centrifix is behind Nibto, which is, again, rather strange. I'm not sure why it's put it in like that, but hey, easily resolved. We can just take the Centrifix here and drop it on top of this Nibto here. So we've got Centrifix 05, Nibto, runway 05. And we'll execute that. We've got bypass on as well on Centrifix 05, which we'll have a look at in just a second. Yeah, it's quite a tight turn there, isn't it? But I suppose we don't actually need the center fix there, so we can just go ahead and we'll just get Nibto and drop it on top of the center fix there. And then the bypass disappears. Got quite a wide turn out there, but nevertheless, no issues. We'll probably turn in a bit earlier on heading select just to intercept that localizer there. So that's fine. And let's just check the procedures at Florence in terms of noise abatement. Got NADP 1 at Florence. So if we do need to do a... Let's just do this again as well before I forget. So if we do need to do a go around, we'll come back to the index page and the takeoff page. Now I'm not sure this is the way it works in the Boeing, to be quite honest, but we'll just set this here. So we'll set thrust reduction at 1500, that is fine. And we'll set the acceleration, in fact we'll go 1650. Oh, it doesn't actually. Okay, that's not how it works in the Boeing, I guess. Right, so we'll come back to that in a moment. Set the transition level to 70. That makes the most sense as the transition altitude is 6,000. Anti-ice we're not going to use. We'll grab the weather real quick. I don't think they'll be online on VATSIM, which they're not. So let's go meta. No results. Okay, that was strange. Right. Oh, the temperature's dropped quite significantly actually to 4 degrees. So we probably will use the anti-ice as well. But probably not at a low level. It depends. We can't really see, can we? I mean, there's no clouds reported above the airfield, but there might be some on the descent. But again, we can't really see that because there's no weather radar. So maybe we'll just have it off. QNH is 1034. So we'll go minus 11, 1034. And we'll bring in some of the winds as well, even though we're already quite established in this descent as well already. But let's see. That's fine. Okay, cool. Right, alright. So if we need to go around, we'll just have to remember it's NADP 1. So I'll reduce the thrust at just over 1650. And then we'll hold V2 plus 20 until 3,150 feet. Okay, cool. So that's all done. And we'll just check that go around as well. So we've got the right turn, 550 feet. Intercept heading. Okay, that looks fine. 4,000 or above. Okay, cool. That's all good. For the go around, happy with that. Lovely stuff. Okay, so we'll go back to map. Slowly catching our profile here, but still maybe not. Okay. Let's speed up a little bit here. just so we can catch up with our vertical profile. Go up to 290 knots, and we'll do the descent checklist. So pressurization, landing altitude is set to 150, recall is checked, auto brake. Auto brake will set to max. Landing data, VREF 117, flaps 40, and the minimums.
Echo Charlie Juliet Romanic, establish ILS, runway 30 for Bologna.
We'll set to 655. .655 is set for the minima. And the approach briefing is complete. Descent checklist complete. Lovely job. Okie dokie. Surprised? Oh no, we don't have the VOR tuned yet, do we? Let's just test that the VOR is identified. It is. Lovely stuff. Okie dokie, chat. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see how it's looking out the window. Very good. There's the airport over there. Right, let's get a replay on the go as well. How do I set up the sim before I start a flight? 1,000 to go. Let's keep going down. Still a bit high here, so we'll keep going down. Set 6,000, which is the next restrictive altitude. And we'll come back to the VNAV speed. Oops. Interesting. There we go. VNAV path retards. That's fine. It just suddenly occurred to me I didn't actually... I needed to press speed there. I think I pressed N1 by accident, didn't I? Right, coming to flight level 100 now. Let's get the lights on. And we'll get the logo light on as well. Engine start switches to continuous. Anti-ice, we'll leave it off. We'll get the seatbelt signs on. Yeah, I can't see any clouds out there. I don't think we'll have too many issues. There's the airport. Right, how do I set up the sim before I start a flight? Activate only the screen. Pretty much, Roy. I choose my sceneries and then my aircraft. And then anything else I will generally use for a flight. I have some add-ons that I have permanently in my community folder, like Flow Pro, for example, and a few other bits. But yeah, that's pretty much how I normally do it, yeah. Right, drag is required. I'll tell you what we can do, though, is I learned this trick from 737NG pilot's stream or channel. 220 knots. And we'll come to flaps 5 here. So speed is checked. Flap set to 2. And we'll come straight to flaps 5. So speed is checked. Flap set to 5. That'll give us a nice high descent rate there to try and catch that path. Flaps 5 is set. There we go, 2,000 feet per minute. That's not too bad. Not too shabby. We are gaining on the profile there, which is nice. Go away. Florence traffic, Austrian 531 is on approach for runway 05. Florence traffic. I don't think there's anyone else in the area, to be fair, chat, but best to just say something. Yeah, I'm the only arrival due in. Okie dokie, there we go. Back on VNav path. And I think what we may just do here, chat, is we'll go level change. Heading select. And we'll swing ourselves in a little bit earlier here. 1,000 to go. Let's keep coming down. 3,000 feet. Let's record. That's going to freeze the sim for a second. Right, let's see how far we're doing here. We've got 23 miles. So we're looking good. Oh, I forgot to set the QNH tonight. 1034. We should be set now. So we're a bit higher than expected. That's fine. So approach checklist altimeters are set 1034 on both sides and the standby. So I'll give ourselves a intercept heading for the localizer now. Initially 320, I think will do it, and then we'll give ourselves another 20 degrees once we've sort of turned base here. Right, lovely stuff. We've actually descended rather quickly there, so that's fine. Keep ourselves coming in. And we'll arm approach. Volok glide slope. Just set 2,500 so we can follow this glide slope down once it starts, because we should be intercepting it really at Nibto at 3,000, so we might just have to descend a little bit further. Right, okie dokie then. So we'll go to flaps 10 and gear down. Oh, forgot to lower the speed bug there. Oopsie daisies. Volok. Runway in sight, so it does have two pappies actually. I misremembered that. Okie dokie, 7 miles to go. Let's go to flaps 15. Glide slope capture. Go Command A as well. And we'll set the ground altitude to 4,000 feet. Oh, actually, I forgot one thing. Oh, it's already in there, 160. Okay, that's fine. Okie dokie, let's keep coming down on speeds. We'll go to flaps 25. Set VREF plus 5, which is 122. And we'll go to flaps 30. And finally, flaps 40, which... Did that set? It has, yeah. Okay, so... Landing checklist. Engine start switches continuous. Speed brake is... armed. Landing gear is down. Flaps are 40. Green light. Landing checklist complete. Alright, let's do this thing, chat. We've got no wind here, so hopefully we can get a bit of butter, but it is a short runway, so I'm not going to be messing about trying to get butter if we can help it. But we have got flaps 40, quite a nice lowest approach speed here, and max auto brake to hand as well, so I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. But the touchdown zone, as I said earlier on, it is very short at this airport, so something to bear in mind. So, autopilot disconnect. Let's do this thing, chats. Alright, auto thrust disconnected.
Approaching minimums.
Definitely do not want to get high on this approach.
500. Minimums.
Continue.
400. 300. 200. 100.
Visual.
50. 30. 20. 10.
Speed brakes. Oh, beautiful. Plenty of slowing down there. And 2 manual brakes. We'll disengage the auto brake there. Lovely. As you can see, very short runway. We're already at the other end. Crikey. Not bad, though. Not bad. Not bad. I did my usual there, though, chat. I forgot to look out the window early enough. Oh, that's the point. I don't have FS Realistic running for some reason. God damn it. Oh well, here we are, chat. Welcome to Florence. We'll go ahead and swing it round just here. Get those flaps retracted. Transponder can come off, or we can take the TCAS off even. Engine start switches can come off as well. Get the landing lights off. Leave the strobe lights on for now. Fire up the APU. Oh, not paying attention here. God damn it. Sometimes it gets so hard to turn this aircraft. I know they've changed some stuff with the ground handling recently, and if you're not at a very specific speed, I find it sometimes very difficult to turn this thing. Florence traffic, Austrian 531 backtracking, runway 05. Florence traffic. Right. Oh, crikey. It's so difficult to turn this thing sometimes. What in the world? It's like when you get past like 8 knots or something like that, ground speed, it just gives up on being able to do a tight turn, which I suppose is probably realistic in quite a lot of aspects, but yeah, just not used to it, I suppose. Right, okie dokie then, chat. What standard do we want? 103. Do I have rudder until they're separated? I do, yeah. Let's get off this runway though. Dave will be arriving soon, I imagine. Right, there is no after landing checklist in the Boeing. Well, we've got our transponder off, no weather radar. APU is started. Auto brake is off, and the flaps and spoilers are retracted. And we'll come off here because I know there is someone behind me, so let's just get off as early as possible. Stand 103 is more or less straight in front of us. Somewhere just here. See the ground services there. Lots of E-jets parked here. This is a great scenery, this. It's a shame it's not daytime. Alright, we'll get the taxi light off. Strobe light can go off as well. And there's our marshaller there. You can just see him off the right hand side. What the hell is with that animation? That was so annoying. Right. Parking brake is set. Okie dokie. APU is online. We'll get it on the bus. We'll get a bit of APU bleed on for the passengers whilst we're on the ground here. And engines can come off now. Probe heat as well. We'll get the 3 fuel pumps off as well. We'll get the dome light on now. It's very dark here. Right, seatbelt signs as well. Anti-collision lights off. Leave the logo light on and everything looks good. We are depressurized. Fantastic. Okie dokie. So that's all that done. We'll turn the transponder fully off now. Alright, lovely. Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and get the stairs in place. Get the chocks in by the ground services and the ground power connected. Also, ooh, those window textures need a bit of work though, don't they, at night? I don't think I've ever flown into here at night before. It is great scenery during the day though. Right, ground power can come on now. Now we'll get the APU bleed off. And the APU off, wrong way. Cool. Get these hydraulics off as well. So shutdown checklist, anti-collision light is off, weather radar is off, engine start levers are in cut-off. Parking brake is set, although we can probably release it now as we are on chocks. And the transponder is standby. Shutdown checklist complete. Let's deboard. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Right on the stop bar there. Ah, just a little bit after. I blame GSX's animations for that. And we are pretty much straight as well, which is nice. Very good. Right. Welcome, chat, to Florence. Very good. Very, very good. Okay, then. So, whilst we're deboarding, landing rate predictions have been given in the chat. Thank you very much, guys. Let's have a look. I'll bring up the landing report and we can have a look at that. We'll stop the replay as well whilst we're here. Right. Okie dokie then. So, initial thoughts are, yeah, we'll have a look at it together. So the landing itself, chat, I think went pretty well. So pretty much on centre line there. We're a little bit to the right and well within that touchdown zone there, if a bit early, just before the aiming point, in fact. So definitely could have flared a bit more there. So never mind. But hey ho, as you can see, it is a very small touchdown zone compared to your average runway. It's only got the it's basically only about 1,500 feet long, and you can see right the threshold at the other end there, although we've got this extra room here that we can use for our rollout, but nevertheless it's still quite a short runway. So yeah, definitely could have flared a bit more. So as a result, we've ended up with a 267 feet per minute, landing rate 1.01 Gs, and speed 112 knots. So a little bit on the slow side actually as well. Not by much, by 5 knots, but nevertheless. Why does it say type 763? That's not right. Anyway, centerline deviation 10 feet to the right. And yeah, I mean, pretty okay, I think. Considering the shortness of the runway, I'm going to take that one. I think that's perfectly fine. So, who wins then? 267. Roy with 209. The only one who guessed actually over 200. So, very good. Congratulations, Roy. Yeah, definitely could have flared a bit more there. That's a bit sad, but hey ho. My excuse is that I haven't flown this aircraft in quite some time, so that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. Right, very, very good. So we've got a replay to watch, which I'm going to just load up now whilst we watch the passengers deboard here. Oh, it's actually going to freeze the sim, isn't it? All right, fine. Matt Rasso, no worries at all, dude. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll catch you again soon. Oh dear, what's happened to the sound? Interesting, that's a rather strange one. Anyways. Let's just quit GSX and we'll go with the and we'll get set up for the replay, shall we? I think what we might do as well, just for the replayers, well, we'll do it nighttime first, and then we'll do a daytime one, shall we? Right. Let's just pause it there. We'll load the panel state for the replay. Oh, quite a nose down there. It's very difficult to see though at night time, isn't it? Let's make it daytime. There we are. Let's do a bit of a fast forward here because we're not quite on final there. Right, here we are. I mean, that looked pretty nice from the outside, I will say. Let's just see that one more time, shall we? I mean, there wasn't too much of a flare. There was pretty much hardly any flare. It was just kind of holding the nose from dropping. Yeah, no float. Oops, pretty much on center line. So yeah, I mean, not bad. I'll take that. I'll take that. Let's do the usual, shall we? I think that was alright, wasn't it, chat? Considering it was a short runway. Don't want to be messing about now, do we? Such great ground textures here, though, at this airport. Not bad. Not bad. But yeah, as you can see, chat, this airport scenery is just great. Love it. Swing around so you can actually see the airport. Look at that. You can't really see it now. You can only see it sometimes, obviously, but there is actually a train here that runs along this line over here. You can actually... Oh, no. Thought I just saw it then, but there is a train that runs along there, which is super nice. The thing I like about this airport, though, is that everything just fits together nicely. The ground textures, the building textures, everything about it is just perfectly, you know, sort of in sync with each other, if you like. And then it's got this really cool sort of GA private jet area. It's got this cool little tower there. Everything looks great. There's an interior on the tower. It's just fantastic scenery. Guy Simulation's got to be one of the best in the game. Very nice. Good evening, Asa. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Welcome indeed. And then we can just fast forward a little bit here, just so you guys can see. It's great. Look at the ground textures here. Just brilliant. All the buildings just look fantastic, really well modeled. Everything is just super nice. Nice land sides. People out here, yeah, it's just great. Few statics. Unfortunately, you can't remove the statics at the moment, but hopefully they'll update it in the future to do so. Right. Okie dokie, chat. Well, that is going to be it from me for today then. Let's just do a rewind here. Okie dokie, so we'll let it play out from here. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If you have enjoyed the stream today, please do consider hitting the thumbs up button. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you again tomorrow. I think I said 4:30 p.m. On the schedule, but keep an eye on the channel. I'll announce the actual time for the stream tomorrow. I'm not sure if it'll be 4:30 or a bit later. It might be 6:30 actually. That I said. I can't remember. But nevertheless, chat, we are going to be. Oh crap! I'm still on VATSIM. Yeah, nevertheless, chat, tomorrow we're going to be flying in the BAE 146. I know a lot of you guys have requested that. We're flying the BAE 146 from Kathmandu over to Paro. That rather spicy approach into the mountains, into Paro. So it should be great fun. Really looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting back into BAE 146. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow for that one. Otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic Saturday evening. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.